$10 fee, you can start yourself a longevity business and make some money selling longevity products. Earn yourself some thank you checks, as I like to say, by sharing the products. The products pretty much sell themselves. You don't have to sell the products. They pretty much sell themselves. Most folks will notice results with the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, for example, within 1 or 2 doses. Results like appetite suppression, lower blood pressure, getting off your medication, just plain old feeling better. You can find out all about it by calling the Brightside Ben phone team at 866-735-2470 or by clicking on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com. Timothy writes, what are the best supplements for fast muscle growth? And then he wants to know my thoughts on Suma Root. We talked yesterday a little bit about testosterone and building muscle. You don't want to think about supplements, taking supplements for fast muscle growth. You want to think about taking supplements and taking nutrients for having a healthy body. If you're interested in building muscle, you're not going to be able to take a supplement to build muscle. That's not how the body works. However, if you get your butt in the gym and start lifting weights and then come home and do your supplements, those supplements will help feed the anabolic or the building process. And in combination with weightlifting or in combination with resistance training and in combination with rest, because that's also important. It's the combination of rest and resistance training and rest and nutritional supplementation that accounts for fast muscle growth. That having been said, nutrients that are involved in building primarily are vitamin A, zinc, vitamin E, and, of course, amino acids and protein. You can also use creatine. In fact, I recommend that you use creatine if you're interested in fast muscle growth. But none of this stuff is going to work unless you get yourself in the gym or do some kind of resistance training at home. You don't really have to go to the gym to do resistance training, by the way. You can buy one of these rubber bands, these very taut rubber bands. I've got one that's got 3 rubber bands wrapped around each other. And they're not like rubber bands like you use in your office, but they're long, rubbery kind of stretchy material, and they've got 2 handles on either end. And you can do some tremendously effective resistance training exercises in the comfort of your living room while you're watching TV. And I'm talking really, really effective resistance training. If you go out and spend $30 or so, you can get a heavy-duty band. As I say, I've got one that's got 3 rubber bands wrapped around each other, and you can get a really good leg workout, ab workout, arm and upper body workout as well. When you're done with your workout, that's when you want to do your nutritional supplements. That's the best way to induce muscle growth. As far as Suma Root goes, I'm not a big believer in using herbs or adaptogens or plant material to induce muscle growth. Not that herbs and adaptogens and plant materials don't have their place. They do, but more in a medicinal fashion. Your body doesn't grow from Suma Root. There's no Suma Root deficiency, and Suma Root or any other herbs are not inserted into biochemical reactions to induce muscle growth. Suma Root and other herbs may have nutritional elements in them, but it's the nutritional elements that do the work, not the plant itself. So get the nutritional elements in a supplement program. That's the best way to get high concentrations of these nutrients. And then maybe throw in some Suma Root or some ashwagandha, perhaps, or some other phytonutrient plant nutrients that are found in herbs to support muscle growth, to support the nutritional element of muscle growth. But it's really nutritional supplementation, especially with protein, especially with vitamin A and zinc, also essential fatty acids, that are going to give you the best muscle growth benefits. And one of the best ways to make sure that you're building muscle is to keep your intake of inflammatory foods down to a minimum. That means processed foods, and that means sugar. And I'm not just talking about candy bar sugar. I'm talking about fruit juice and fruits and potatoes and rice and grains and all the foods we love to eat. If we like it, it's probably sugar, even if it's not literally sucrose. It probably gets broken down into sucrose. All right, hope that helps, Timothy. Back to our story on methylation. And by the way, I got a lot of my information on methylation from a cool book that came out in the 1990s, I believe, called The Methylation Miracle by Dr. Paul Frankel, Ph.D., discover the natural way to reduce the risk of heart disease, Alzheimer's disease, cancer, depression, other age-related diseases, and much, much more. All of this involves methylation. Methylation is an activation of various molecules in the body, choline, DMAE, SAMe, and the B vitamins, especially folic acid, are all involved in this tinker toy activation called methylation. All these are said to be methylating agents, which basically means they carry a little piece of methyl around. This idea that things literally travel around through the body to get to appropriate areas from point A to point B, traveling around through the blood to do their work, is really interesting and really amazing. Think about it. Chemicals float around in the blood, chemicals that have a little piece of something attached to them. They're, in essence, carrying this little piece around in a pizza delivery man kind of fashion. Got chemicals traveling around through the blood. They got a little piece stuck on them like a pizza delivery man carries around a pizza. And then there's other chemicals that are hungry for pizza, hungry chemicals. They look like they can use some pizza, and as are methylating pizza delivery compounds like SAMe and vitamin B6 and folic acid and choline and DMAE, as they come across these hungry molecules that need a methyl group / pizza, they very conveniently drop one off. They drop off a piece of pizza. They drop off a piece of methyl. And that little piece of methyl sticks to our hungry chemical, and then we say our hungry chemical is full, or we more accurately say it's activated. Or even more accurately, it's methylated aging. It's methylated. This carrying system is one of the most incredible high-tech processes in the body, and it happens a lot. Now, leaving aside this really incredibly miraculous carrying nature, this beyond science fiction-like aspect of how molecules travel through the blood and drop off little chunks and activate other chunks, from a practical standpoint, from a health and disease standpoint, understanding what carrying is about and learning to leverage the power of carrying can have really, really major, important health benefits. Lots of things are carried throughout the body in some fashion or another. This carrying system is a mechanism for, number one, moving important substances around from point A to point B, and it can also be a way of making sure that materials are always available to the body for instant use without them having to be actively manufactured or without them getting used up. These little chunks basically travel around in a dormant, sleeping state, so the body doesn't have to go into some dramatic or emergency manufacturing rush when there's some kind of demand. They're always going to be floating around the blood in an inactive, dormant state by being carried on ferries, on chemical ferries, being carried around. And this also gives the body an element of control over how much of these things will be active at any one time. And binding and transport and carrying of these molecules can be a really, really important part of making fatty stuff, helping fatty stuff travel around the liquid, watery medium of the blood. The blood is the main route of transport from point A to point B, and if something is fatty, it's not going to really travel through the blood unless it is ferried along or unless it's carried along. This carrying system is really amazing and very important to understand when it comes to health and longevity. Most growth hormones, most development hormones are carried about in this fashion. Hang tight, we'll finish up when we come back from our break and take your phone calls as well. I'm Pharmacist Ben, you're listening to The Brightside. We'll be back right after this.
Men who want intimacy and pleasure back in their love life don't ask if, they ask when. So men, spark up your love life, get pleasure and intimacy back, and please your special lady with Epic Nights. Epic Nights is a safe, revolutionary herbal sexual formula for men that combines ancient herbal ingredients and modern science to significantly support stamina, performance, and pleasure. Men, Epic Nights is a proven 100% natural product that works first time, every time, even after consuming alcohol. And you won't hear any of those cliche disclaimers, men, because Epic Nights will not give you unwanted side effects, but Epic Nights will allow you to give your partner what they deserve. Epic Nights is guaranteed as one of the most effective male enhancers on the web, or will refund your purchase 100%. Buy Epic Nights at buyepicnights.com, spelled BUYEPICNIGHTS.com, or call 1-877-330-1120, 877-330-1120. Epic Nights, one pill, one Epic Night.
It's hard to imagine when things are going reasonably well just how quickly things can change. But what would it take? Economic collapse, massive crop failure, chemical or biological attack? So many situations could find you in the grocery looking to pick up food for your family only to find that the shelves are empty. There's nothing. Don't let that happen. Act today to make sure that if it ever comes to that, you and your family will be provided for. Visit freezedryguy.com to look at the wide variety of survival foods available. Freeze-dried foods from the Freeze Dry Guy store longer, rehydrate faster, are nutritionally superior to, and taste better than any other long-term storage food available. Visit freezedryguy.com or call toll-free 866-404-3663. freezedryguy.com.
Mother's Day is right around the corner. If you haven't ordered your Mother's Day flowers yet, make sure to visit proflowers.com for an amazing deal. ProFlowers has a Mother's Day special for radio listeners. Get 100 gorgeous blooms for Mom with a free glass vase for $19.99. And if you want to make her day even more special, upgrade to a premium vase and add gourmet chocolates for just $9.99 more. Mom will be so happy when she unwraps her beautiful bouquet of blooms, guaranteed to stay fresh and beautiful for at least one full week. Each time she looks at her Mother's Day flowers, she'll think of you. But hurry, this deal expires soon, so make sure to place your order today. The only way to get this incredible deal is to go to proflowers.com/radio right now and enter the code PLOW, P-L-O-W, proflowers.com/radio, code PLOW, P-L-O-W. That's proflowers.com/radio and enter code PLOW, P-L-O-W.
We all know that Berkey Water Purification Systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey Water Filtration Systems. The Berkey Light Systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light System today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
This is a special news alert to consumers who owe back taxes to the IRS.
Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing during the decline in the U.S. economy, the Internal Revenue Service is now accepting reduced settlements from consumers on back taxes, resulting in back taxes reduced by thousands of dollars. An open phone line has been established by Federal Tax Relief for consumers to call and see if you qualify for this reduction. To ensure your financial stability during this decline in the economy, take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call 1-800-210-1349. That's 1-800-210-1349. If you owe back taxes to the IRS, there's no need to fear anymore. The IRS is now accepting reduced settlements from consumers, resulting in tax debts reduced by thousands of dollars. For your free information and to see if you qualify for your reduction, call the Federal Tax Relief Hotline, 1-800-210-1349. 1-800-210-1349. That's 1-800-210-1349.
Great minds think alike. The network for the independent-minded. The Genesis Communications Network. GC.
All right, we're back on the Brightside. I am Pharmacist Ben. Our number is 855-660-4261. We're talking methylation, activation, this whole process of substances being carried around in the blood. When the body carries things around, there's a lot of benefits to carrying things. First of all, when the body needs something, it's always going to be there. If it's floating around in the blood and hanging out in a ferry-like fashion, it's traveling around through the blood. As soon as the body needs something, it can just detach it off the ferry and then use the substance. Body doesn't have to make things up. It's also a good way for fatty material to travel around through the blood. Most growth hormones and developmental hormones are carried around in this fashion. Testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, they're all super, super active materials, and they're fatty materials. And they won't travel around the blood very well unless they're carried around. And they are carried around by globs of protein, literally globs. They're called globulins. We talked about albumin a few months ago. Albumin is a classic carrying around or shuttling or ferrying protein that carries testosterone and estrogen and progesterone around. Cortisol is also carried around via globulins. Cholesterol itself is carried around in the blood via ferries or barges or carrying agents. That's what LDL is, and that's what HDL is. LDL and HDL are not cholesterol. LDL and HDL are carriers for cholesterol and prime examples of how the body will shuttle various substances around through the blood. Cholesterol is a mega important molecule. One of the most important, maybe the most important, arguably it is the most important molecule in the body, and the body has because it's so important, the body has a very significant need for cholesterol. There's always got to be cholesterol